This whiskey is double oaked, but does that mean it has double the flavor?
Only one way to find out in this week's whiskey review. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt, I'm the whiskey nerd.
I'm Rose and I'm the whiskey noob.
And like I said, this is the double oaked whiskey from the Whistler. So let me get it into the glass and I'll tell you a little bit more about it.
Now you know we're big fans of the Whistler here.
Yeah, but in terms of what makes this whiskey a bit different, this is their entry level whiskey. So it's a blended whiskey. It is 80% grain whiskey and 20% single malt whiskey. They were both aged in bourbon casks at first, and then they spent 6 months marrying together in an oloroso sherry cask.
Oh, I love oloroso sherry.
Yeah, so you should get a nice bit of sweetness, a nice bit of kind of caramel, vanilla, maybe like kind of honeysuckle.
Is caramel vanilla malt from the malt?
Yeah, that'll come from the malt, but also come through from the vanilla kind of flavors you'll get from the bourbon cask.
I'm trying to learn here.
Yeah, and then there'll be a bit of fruitiness, hopefully coming through from the sherry cask finishing. Yeah, so this is their entry-level whiskey. It comes in at 40% ABV. Generally, the whiskeys the Whistler will release, they come in at a higher ABV.
Yeah.
Maybe about 43, 46%, depending on the whiskey.
A good percentage.
Yeah, some of them have cask strength whiskies as well. So this is just their entry-level. It's kind of for cocktails, it's kind of for sipping. It's not really their high-end ones, but they do make some very nice-looking cocktails with
So it's not like a Mosaic Marsala, but it's for your maybe entry-level sharing with friends?
Sharing with friends, definitely. They actually have a good few cocktail recipes with this. In fact, I've been making a spiced pear old-fashioned.
That one!
Yes. Yeah, I make a spiced
So
pear
good.
old-fashioned. I've been playing with the recipe last week, as you can tell. She likes it. I'll be putting out that video on Friday. So if you want to see that, make sure you scroll down, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and you'll see that video on Friday, because I put out cocktail recipes on Fridays and whiskey reviews on Wednesdays. But we're here to talk about whiskey, so let's go in for the nose on the Whistler Double Oaked. Okay. Cheers.
Oh, cheers, Sláinte. It smells so good. You get a little bit of that like caramelly maltiness, I think.
Yeah.
It's nice and sweet. Nothing like is like attacking my nose. It's like good balanced, I'd say.
Kind of floral, kind of honeysuckle is what I'm kind of getting at here.
Oh, yeah.
Like a kind of floral, sweet honey coming out.
I get like blossomy. Maybe that's where the honey's
the
coming
kind of
from.
floral note, yeah, kind of like apple blossoms maybe.
Yeah.
It's definitely on the lighter side, like coming in at 40%, being 80% grain, it's gonna be a lighter whiskey.
Yeah, but maybe you can use it as a whiskey to get anyone who doesn't drink whiskey
into whiskeys.
Into whiskey.
Like you.
Me.
Any else? Are you getting that sherry influence? Not a huge amount. Like there's a bit of fruitiness in there, not a huge amount of nuttiness, but that you can tell there's been some sherry aging.
There's something in the background that says maybe there's some sherry, but it's not like up front.
It's not a sherry bomb or anything like that. No,
not a sherry bomb.
No.
I definitely get like that honeysuckle, apple blossom, like that general like light sweetness, mostly on the nose so far.
Yeah. All right.
Should we go in?
I think we're going for the palate.
For the palate.
Cheers.
I think the journey continues. Oh, that's quite nice. You get the hit in like a second hit. My mouth is like salivating at it.
Yeah, there's a bit of oakiness coming through here. Kind of like almost drying, almost kind of think like that was nice. Yeah,
it's nice and sweet. I think the journey from the nose to the palate, like there's a nice connection, because sometimes with whiskeys you get like the nose is way different from the palate. And you're like,
I'm getting kind of caramel apple vibes.
Going
in for another
it's
sip.
autumnal.
Yeah, going for another sip. Are you getting any kind of spiciness coming off this?
I think
any cinnamon, any nutmeg, anything like that?
It's a light spice. Yeah. So I think maybe like a ginger or something.
Yeah, I'd say ginger. There's a little bit of like, it's not baking spices. It is like, ginger has this like a light bit of heat to it. It's kind of like that. It's not pepper. It's not baking spice. It's more of a gingery kind of fresh spice. Yeah.
And ginger doesn't usually, unless you're having a ginger candy, attack you too much. It's like a nice like, you need it there to add that extra bit of flavor, but it's not ever overwhelming.
What about the finish? You going?
Oh yes, the finish. It is not harsh. It's nice and smooth on the way down. You still like, it's a great journey from the nose, palate to finish. You know, like it's nice, smooth. I feel like a little bit of warmth, but not too much to make it like be too much.
No, it is coming in at 40%, so it is going to be that much softer, that much smoother. I mean, bourbon, cask, and then sherry finishing is one of those classic kind of Irish whiskey formulas. So you're going to get smooth. It's triple distilled. It's going to be smooth, kind of easy, rounded off, not hard to drink. The finish is just kind of more of that from the nose and the palate.
Yes.
Billy caramel apple coming through, a little bit of spice, a little bit of oakiness. It's just a good, solid kind of straight road. It's
I
not
give
like
this to a friend because it's so straightforward that you don't need to like grasp nuances in it. Like there are nuances that I think like we understand because we've been drinking whiskey for a little bit, you significantly longer than I have. But it's such a good one that I think would go well for cocktails and well with friends.
Yeah, so it's like some whiskeys will give you like a left turn in the palate and a right turn into the finish. This is definitely just, it is what it is. It's straightforward. It's not a bad whiskey. It's definitely, I'd say, good for cocktails. Like I said, I'll be putting out a good cocktail recipe on Friday. I think it works really well, and that little bit of oakiness does kind of come through.
Yeah.
It's just a nice, solid whiskey.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for something new, something that's not a Jameson, and it's not a Powers, not a Paddy, maybe if you can see the Whistler, give it a go. Check out the other ones in their range because they have got some really, really great whiskies in their range. And I think Boan Distillery, the people behind the Whistler, this year, in December, they're 3 years old. So their whiskey will be of age and they'll be able to release their own whiskey that they've been producing on site. So it'll be really good to see how their brand develops as they move from like the sourced whiskey into the stuff they produce themselves.
Exactly. I think it's going to be very tasty.
Yeah. So until next time, let's launch it.
Bye bye.